work with your software and hardware projects. And when we go for a commercialization with respect to the IoT projects, the first and foremost, I think if it's a simulated version and I'm just going to have a mimic done to an IoT application, then definitely there is a role for an Arduino. So now the first thing which we are discussing today is what's an Arduino. And I say like Arduino is an open source electronics platform which is based on the easy to use hardware and software mechanism. And Arduino boards are always capable enough of reading the inputs. The inputs can come from there is a light or a button or a buzzer which is triggering the light, and this is been providing some information to the server. There may be the pressing of a button, and this pressing of a button using a finger should trigger some action, or there may be a message which can come from a software, what I call it as a Twitter or LinkedIn or with any kind of a Flickr, you are just getting a messages, and these messages should in turn have a communication being established with respect to the underlying application. So these are the kind of the layouts which I call it as an input, and this input would be read by the Arduino board, and finally it should provide an output. Probably the output is turning on or off with an LED, activating a specific motor, publishing something which is going to be online, and so on. And now we have Arduino UNO, and we could see Arduino UNO as a microcontroller board which is based on ATmega 328P. So here, this Arduino UNO is having 14 digital input and an output pins. Among this 14 digital input and an output pin, the first or the six pins could be used as PWM outputs, whereas the six analog inputs would be fed to this particular embedded application with the value of 16 megahertz quartz crystal being used, an option for an USB connection, a power jack for interfacing, and ICSP header and a reset button. So now, what's this UNO standing with an Arduino? So generally, this UNO has been borrowed from an Italian, and it was chosen to mark with the release of an Arduino software. And this Arduino software is being given with an integrated development environment having a version of 1.0. And this UNO board with a version 1.0 having an Arduino software IDE were taken as a reference versions, and nowadays we could see the newer releases which is being observed. You can just observe from this diagram, there are certain pins, there are certain numberings which has been made in this diagram. You can observe there are pin number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have got the digital pins where the values have been labeled. If you're just observing point number 3 till 5, you could see there is a value which begins with 0, and we have got the values till 13. And the last one we relate it to the ground. GND there stands for ground. And you have got the symbols through which I can just plug in, and there is a value which will trigger an action for this particular board. And each of these descriptions which I have marked in this diagram, let us just explore with respect to this board. So if I am just taking a first button, just observe this diagram. There is a first button which is written as reset. And the basic purpose of this reset button is to restart any programmable code which is already loaded or which is going to be loaded to the Arduino board. I just repeat, the button number 1, which is listed with a diagram, will restart any code that is loaded into the Arduino board. Then I have got the second value as per the diagram. You can see here there is a second value or on a button which has been triggered with some identifications, and there are some three holes which is being plugged in into this button too. So here the basic purpose of this value 2 is AREF, and this AREF stands for analog reference, and this is used to set an external reference voltage. I repeat, AREF stands for analog reference, and this is used to set an external reference voltage. Probably I am just going to have a plugin done with my cable, and I am having the inference being given with some value. So under that sense, I will be referring with an AREF. Now I have got the third pin which is pointed in this diagram, and that's referred as GND. And as I quoted, the GND there stands for the ground connections. If I am just connecting my pins to carry out the necessary task. So this GND is nothing but a ground pin, and there are certain ground pins on the Arduino which will work in the similar way as the existing system is carried out. And we have got a link which is given from the point number 4 and 5. You could observe there the values 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up till your value 14 is a marking value which I call as an active point identified for the digital input and an output to be showcased by an application. So here I can say like pin number 0 to 13 would be used for digital input, and I can also relate there are output values which could be triggered based on the developer's interface. Now, yet there is one more value associated as 6 as per this diagram, and 6 there relates to the USB connection. And this whole purpose is for powering up the Arduino and uploading any related sketches if we have done with our implementations. And we have the seventh value which I call as TX, and there is an 8 which I call as an power board. So here note the seventh point which is TX and RX. The name itself is conveying TX refers to transmit, RX refers to receive. So I can say that transmit the data which is indicated by LED, receive the data which is found from the LED. So I have a value 8. 8 stands for Atmega microcontroller, which is the main core part, and that is what I call it as a brain of this particular board. And this is where is the place the programs gets stored. I just repeat, Atmega microcontroller, which is located at the point number 8, is found or is being said as a brain of the system where the programs get generally stored. I show you once again. You observe there is a board, and this board is that capability. It is providing that capability to the programmer to carry out all the necessary functionalities, the processing, and so on. Now I have got with the diagram the 9, the value 9, and this 9 indicates the power LED indicator. And we can make a note like without an involvement of LED, the board wouldn't be providing a much informative value to the designers or to the developers. So it is that particular mechanism through which I can observe the indications in terms of plugin associated with the various sources. So I've got the 9, which is very important, referred as power LED indicator. And this LED lights up based on the programming which will be carried out by the system. Now I have the value 10, and this value 10 is nothing but a voltage regulator which aims at controlling the amount of voltage uh, being entering into the Arduino board. Then I have got 11, which is called as DC power barrel jack, and this is majorly used for powering the Arduino with an appropriate power supply. I have got the various pins which are associated. The pin number 3 supplies 3.3 volts of power to the various projects, whereas pin number 5 supplies the 5 volts to the various projects which is embedded in the system. Then I have got the related ground pins associated with an Arduino, and these ground pins work in the same way as the related volt supply done with the 3 volt or with the 5 volt pin. Now, there is one more important pin which is found in the diagram if you are observing. So that pin, we call it as an analog pin, which is your last point with this Arduino board. So what's the whole purpose of this analog board or an analog pin is, these pins can be able to read a signal from an analog sensor and it converts it into the digital. As a whole summary, I could just tell the Arduino UNO provides the endpoint values being identified with 16 important points. Among that, 15 are very important. Beginning with a reset button, it will aim at resetting or restarting any code which is loaded into the Arduino board. Whereas I use AREF for analog reference, and that is used to set any external reference voltages. Then we have got a ground pin. The aim of the ground pin is to work in a similar way as we are just providing an information to the system. We have got a digital input and an output recognized by the pin number 0 to 13, and we mark the value with a tilde symbol to simulate if we are generating any analog output. And there is a triggered value called as an USB connection, which is facilitating the board for automatic powering up and uploading any sketches. And if we are capable of doing a transmission and receiving of the data indicated by an LED, then we have to use TX and RX. And we have an association of a microcontroller, and this microcontroller we call with a name called as ATmega microcontroller, where the programs are generally stored. And we have the LED indicator, the voltage regulator, whose main purpose is to control the amount of voltage and to light up the LED based on the programming which is being carried out by the system. And we have got the DC power barrel jack, which is used for automatic supplying of the power to the Arduino board. Then we have the various pins which are mentioned as 3-pin supplying the 3.3 voltage, 5V pin which supplies the 5 volts of power to the corresponding project, and we have ground pins and an analog pins. The analog pin would be capable of reading a signal from an analog sensor and converts it into a digital format. Now moving further, essentially whenever we are carrying out the programming, there are certain functions, there are certain methods or the routines which would be capable enough of carrying out the particular task. And two important required functions we observe with our normal programming is void setup, and this would be used only once, whereas void loop would be used multiple number of times based on the iterations or an actions which will be observed in the code. Now, moving further, we see the other type of methods which would be observed depending on the type of smarter objects which we are involving with our normal applications. So, if there is an involvement, something which relates to the writing operations, I preferably will make use of digital write method. If there is an involvement of an analog write operations, maybe I use a switch, the auto switch, and this switch would pass the voltages, and this voltages should be able to convert it into a digital format. At that point of time, I see the role of analog write method. Similarly, I use a digital read method. If I am probably having some digital pad and I have some keys which is being now given, adopting these keys, I am making an entry, or just I am using the conversing mechanism using this pad, and this feature or a mechanism I call it as a digital read. And this digital read method would identify if there are devices which are embedded of this fashion. Then the other important statements is just like our normal C language programming. I want to check with certain conditions. I want to take up a value. For example, I just would like to say like there are two devices. I need to compare these two devices which are connected with the sensors, which is accurately giving me a valid information. And to carry out this type of quicker comparison, I can depend with my programming the statement block called as an if. And it works in a similar way as our normal C language does. Then we have got an analog read, and inside this analog read, it's obvious like there is an volts or there is an electrical values which will be fed to the system, and this values should be recognized by the software which we are trying to program it. And when we do this type of manipulative task, then we can think of using an analog read as a method. Then the type of communication which will be acted upon with the system, that's the one interesting point which we observe. And generally we see the serial communication being established when we work with this Arduino board. So here, how do I just begin with my programming after just getting a few fundamental steps is something like I would like to use a comment with my program. We see with a C language, a single line comment and a multi-line comment. So I use two slashes. That's a double line. I can just say it's an two double lines. It's nothing but a single line comment, which is going to give the values to be masked with respect to the system. When I am having a slash followed by star and I just close the star followed by a slash, that looks a multi-line comment just exactly the way you operated with the C language. Moving further, if I am just having an application being run with a system with an successful installation carried out, and I am trying to do some minor, or let me say it's a smaller task. So here the screen, how does it look when I am just opening for the kind of application which would be used for my projects is something just like this. And what you're observing is it's nothing but an UI where I have a lot of menus being organized, and you can see there is a file, there is an edit, there is a sketch, there is a tool, there is an help, and down to it I have an appropriate click through which I can drag and drop. And here you observe this is an area, the work area through which I try to edit the code required for my work. So here I have just introduced a comment, and it's a single line comment which is just having some textual information called as name of sketch, brief description, and a date. I make use of a function called as a void setup function, which will put the setup code to run what activities has to be carried out. Then I have just blindly used one more method called as a void loop, which will make the main code to run repeatedly. Now, the commands which yet we should be aware when we carry out the programming is what's the mode, what's the right operation, how do I just set an delay to associate with my application. So if I'm using in the code pin mode within a bracket, the name of the pin along with an operation which I carried out, whether it's an input or whether it's an output. For example, if I use this method called as a pin mode and I set a value 13, and the value which is set with a 13 pin, I relate that to an output. Similarly, I have got method called as digital write, and the format of me using a digital write is yet again pin. I use high or low. So here, interestingly, again I see 13, the value of 13, and I am setting this to high. I use delay, and this delay is being passed with an argument called as time in terms of milliseconds. So I give a delay of 2500. That means I need to hold, or I need to just suspend the working operation for 2.5 seconds. So now the basic commands, making use of these basic commands, I will be able to carry out the essential commands to be interfaced within these two function calls. So here you can see the setup function basically setups the motors, sensors, if any in the system, and so on. Whereas the loop function acquires or obtains the information from all those sensors and sends the commands to the respective motors or to the respective underlying sensors in an application. So here the setup section is used for assigning the input and an output to all those ports which are present on an Arduino, and it also specifies whether the device is an input device or whether the device is an output device. To achieve this setup functionality, we depend on the mode of operation, and generally the pin mode is adapted to work with this setup method. Now, we observe here if I am using the pin mode as 9, that indicates the port number. If I am specifying with an uppercase output, that indicates the output value which I am mentioning to the port recognized by this function call called as setup. Then I have taken one more sample here. I use digital write a value 9 and a value high, and I can just define high as turning the LED on. Whereas if I'm just mentioning a value there as low, then I define turning the LED with an off state. Between this writing operations of turning on an LED either to an on or off state should happen by waiting with the system for at least 1 second. And to set up this kind of an technical information, I need to write it inside a loop. So I just repeat again, this void loop function which is shown on the screen now will establish the turning on the LED for 1 second, and it will wait for 1 second to turn off. Now, to carry out the related programming, to carry out some of the conditions being imposed on the programming, let's just go with the ground level. And that's nothing but how do I define or declare a variable? How do I just give a value to a variable? How do I just make up the commands to be operated with the locations, that's the memory locations declared by this variable. Let us just start with the first step called as declaring a variable. So whenever we are declaring a variable, we know we need to have an appropriate data type. This data type should be followed by the name of a variable, and this variable should either be obtaining the data from the keyboard or the input device, or it would have a prefetched data value which is already assigned. And in this example, I have given int val equal to 5. That means by looking at this line of declaration, we can know the data which is associated here is of type integer. Then I have got a name being given for a variable, and that's nothing but val. And I am having an assignment, and I use an operator here as equal to. Now I use a value 5. So here what we observe is the value 5 is being stored in the variable val, which is of type integer. And what we observe here is it's a pure C language declaration. Now, using this variable declaration, let us just try to analyze one more code which is displayed here. I have int delay time, and I have just assigned this delay time as 2000. I have one more variable by the name called as green LED associated with a value called as 9. I have a function called as setup, and inside this function I have the arguments taken as green LED, and I am referring that as an output. So we can note here we are going to just have the indication of high and low being captured or gathered with the glow happening with a green color. So here I haven't set any delay. I have just used a delay time, and this delay time will be measured by the system depending on what it is being programmed. So here I am having the value of green LED being taken with an initialization of 9. With our previous example also, I have just had the green LED which is taken with a value as 9. Now, what am I doing? Here is the only one line change which could be observed with this delay time. And inside this delay time, I am having the reduction done. So I use here the value 2000 minus 100. And that's what I call as the delay time is gradually increasing the LED's blinking action. Meaning to say, I begin with the LED which is blinking very fastly, and as it keeps progressing, the blinking will gradually fade or the blinking will go down, taking the value as minus 100. So you could also note with previous value, as we observed, we have taken the LED value as 9, and the delay time is also 2000, and we note here the delay time is 2000 minus 100. So that's the value which it keeps blinking with the appropriate speed level. And now, what's that we carry out with the conditions which are imposed on an Arduino? So to make the decisions with our Arduino, we generally make use of the if statement, the variations with an if statement, the conditions which are applied to an if and else block, and evaluation of a if statement combining with the multiple relational values being identified, or it could even be the logical operations which we carry out, and so on. So now, to have a quicker value comparisons, I just have taken some simpler code. Whenever I just have to write the greater than symbol, I just depend on this operator. A is greater than B. So I use a code greater than or equal, less than or equal or not equal. So now, just to quickly observe, I have a statement if within bracket I just fetch a value true. I use opening and a closing bracket. I refer with a condition called as perform some action. To quickly show an example, I have taken here int counter is 0. I have just set up the value to begin its task. So I am referring to the serial pin. So I use their serial dot begin. I have a function called as a loop which will iterate or which will repeat based on the conditions. So I check for the condition if counter is less than 10, print the counter value and you keep updating the counter by plus 1. So this counter will be checked until and unless it reaches the value 10. Now, we have the interesting point to observe when we make a communication is transferring the data from the computer to an Arduino. How do I just transfer this kind of a programming or a data to an Arduino board? And this is all not a magic, it's been achieved with the help of serial transmission. And to set up this serial communication, we make use of the function call called as serial.begin. Now you just see the example. I am just displaying hello world, and this display of an hello world is being shown on an Arduino board in where the blinking action is observed, and I get this textual information hello world. And to happen this, I just simply have to give with my setup function serial.begin. So I'll just continue with this other kind of commands and the code in the next class. Today I'll just halt at this point of